Wednesday, 24th of May 2023, and I'm at Alder Mill on the River Anker. I've come out of the back of Atherstone and Witherley and heading off cross country towards Polesworth, and this is Alder Mill. As you can see, it's absolutely stunning, and I've just had a very interesting conversation with Sue.
Can you tell me where the source of the anchor is?
Yeah, it's the far side of Wolvey.
Far side of Wolvey?
Wolvey village. Talk about what the river's like.
Oh yes.
I mean,
well, it's in a here it's in a superb condition, because the sense comes in at King Dick's Hole.
Yes. Yeah.
You find the sense joins the anchor.
Yeah, I can't.
And it's called King Dick's Hole because they believe that Richard's men at the Battle of Bosworth came down. We've got Merivale Hall up there, which was an abbey in those days, and they stayed at the abbey and came down with their horses down Merivale Lane, and we believe possibly onto our side here. And all the horses along the river the night before the Battle of Bosworth. And where the sense meets the anchor, they call that King Dick's Hole. It's always been called King Dick's Hole.
It was developed. Here is the King Dick's Hole that was talked about. This is the River Sense coming down here. And then this is the River Anker coming up from Witherley. Unfortunately, King Richard came from the other side. Let's go right over here. This is the track taken by King Richard in 1485 to approach the Battle of Bosworth, which is here. Henry Tudor came from Wales, which is over this direction, a long way away, but came along the Roman road here, past Atherstone it seems, along here. Now, whether they actually took these exact routes is another matter, but certainly Henry Tudor came from the west, and Richard III came from the east. They met here at the Battle of Bosworth. So for King Richard to have got from over this side over to here to get to what they now call King Dick's Hole, I think is a development of folklore.
And then our bridge here is Fielden Bridge. That's a listed building.
Right.
It's a listed bridge.
And what about the mill? What's the history of the mill that was here?
The mill is not, our mill is not the old mill. We've had mills here since whenever, since Doomsday. Lived here, we bought the land in 1982. And it was demolished in about 1970. The original mill, that was the brick-built mill, and that was bigger than our mill.
Really?
Yeah.
Sue, thank you very much indeed for all this.
And as I say, we look after this river, we look after the fish in it.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the map, my famous Ordnance Survey map. There's King Dick's Hole and Alder Mill, which we've covered. Moving along the River Anker here towards Grendon, and there is a church, so I walked up this little road here and got to the church. Unfortunately, it didn't really lead anywhere. A lovely church. So I came back and then flew the drone back along the river and also behind these trees near these rather nice houses. And there was one of the prettiest little bridges on the River Anker I think there is. Well, good morning. I'm at Grendon. This is All Saints Church, look. And very nice church it is too. Look at this laburnum bush tree. I've come here because the River Anker has left the outskirts of Atherstone and Field and Bridge, where I was, and it's heading off now towards Tamworth, which is where it finishes. But before it gets there, it's got to go through Grendon, which is where I am now, and then on to Polesworth. So let's see if we can find the river from here. As usual, there are some wonderful yew trees here. Look at them. Look at this. All the way around. I could count them, but very nice. It's extremely well kept, and there's a big, what do you call it, a tent. You have a tent for an event tent. Right, I think the best I can do is go back to the road and see if I can get close to the river there. Let's follow the River Anker on towards Polesworth. It winds around quite close to the Coventry Canal, as you can see. And then when it reaches the railway, for some reason it suddenly gets much wider and is very pretty as it enters Polesworth. And there are two bridges, a footbridge here which I'm on, and then a road bridge, which again is a fine looking bridge. Be a very nice park and one or two useful bridges. Footbridge, which is going over the river. Oh gosh, now the river's getting some steam up. Look at this. I think I'm going to sign off here for part 6 of the story of the River Anker, and so far so good. In fact, one more to go, and that is, I think, when the river goes into Tamworth. It spreads out into a sort of a wildlife park, and so there must be lots of areas there with the lakes and so on, before it goes into Tamworth and then joins the River Tame on its way to the River Trent and the North Sea at Hull. Yep, okay, that's it. You know what? You'll see me next time. Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.